This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Welcome to the Special Chronicles podcast and our Unified Book series. My name is Daniel Smrokowski. I'm the founder and host of Special Chronicles, a former Sergeant Driver, Global Messenger with Special Olympics, and a Service Ambassador at United Airlines. This our website is specialchronicles.com. You can follow us on socials and wherever you get your podcasts, again, specialchronicles.com. And this week on the program, on our Unified Book series, I believe this will be season 6. So I think this will be in an episode in our Unified Book series. We are featuring a presentation that Amanda Spies, who is from the development team at Special Olympics Illinois, we recently gave a presentation to a company called Ingredion, and we talked, at the beginning, what you are about to hear in this presentation, Amanda was going to talk a little bit of an overview of what Special Olympics is, and then we'll get into a little bit about athlete leadership, but then also a big majority is about my leadership journey to inclusive employment at United Airlines. And during this presentation, I actually was sitting at O'Hare Airport on the job doing this, talking about not only about my journey in Special Olympics, but about how Special Olympics and athlete leadership has helped give me the skills for inclusive employment. And so that's why I believe that this episode is titled Inspiration in Action, Daniel Smrokowski's Journey. And so that's what a big part about that is you will have an opportunity to hear my story of inclusive employment. So that's how this fits in our Unified Book series. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this presentation. And I think I also mentioned a little bit about Bridge, which is United Business Resource Group for people with disabilities, and briefly mentioned that, I believe. But again, we recorded this presentation the end of October 2024. So a bit of a few months ago, but we have just because of production schedule-wise, we are on this episode at the beginning of January 2025. So hopefully you guys all will enjoy that. And I think I'll come back at the end with just some final thoughts, or some final reminder plugs, such as we going to have our Special Chronicles 2020-25 Giving campaign going on. So go to specialchronicles.com/donate, and you can support this podcast. So we can continue to bring you talks and conversations and interviews and all that with on this program, on the Special Chronicles podcast and all the other series such as this Unified Book series that we have, which focuses on conversations about inclusive employment. And then we've got other series, and we've got other podcasts. You can find all that if you go to specialchronicles.com, click on listen, and then you can browse all the podcasts and series that we have on this network. So with that, I think that's enough opening remarks. We are going to bring you this presentation that Amanda Spies from Special Olympics Illinois and I gave to Ingredion right here on specialchronicles.com.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Spies. I work for Special Olympics Illinois. And we are really thrilled to have the opportunity to speak to you all today during National Disability Employment Awareness Month. I'm joined today with one of our Special Olympics Illinois athlete leaders. He holds many titles, and that's just one of them. We're going to start off today. I'm going to share a little bit more about Special Olympics Illinois, as well as this broader Special Olympics movement, since I know some people on the call might not necessarily live in Illinois. We're going to tell you a little bit more about our mission, our organization, the different ways to get involved, and then you'll hear from Daniel specifically about his journey working at United Airlines and a little bit more about inclusion in the workforce. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it off. I'm going to share my screen, pull up our PowerPoint. Can someone just tell me if you're seeing everything okay?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So I'm sure some of you have heard about Special Olympics. I think a lot of times people have maybe a notion in their head of who we are and what we do. A lot of people think about Special Olympics as maybe a track and field competition, but we are so much more than that. So Special Olympics provides year-round sports training and athletic competitions. So we're not just one event. We have hundreds of events throughout the year, and we don't just serve children. So Special Olympics formally starts at age 8, but we have athletes up until their 80s. So there is really no age limitation. So we are serving, both children and adults with intellectual disabilities. So some of the disabilities you might be familiar with include Down syndrome, autism, and other related developmental disabilities. A little bit more specifically about Special Olympics Illinois. So every Special Olympics throughout the country, we are separate 501c3 nonprofit organizations, and we all have the same mission, the same vision, but we just have a little bit of a different structure. So here in Illinois, we're serving over 18,000 individuals with intellectual disabilities, but overall our community is more than 55,000. So that encompasses unified partners, which we'll touch on in just a little bit, our coaches, our volunteers who really are the backbone of our organization, running our events, coaching our athletes. And then we have 400 different schools that we partner with in Illinois. So because, I'm based in Chicago, and I know some of you are in the Illinois Chicagoland area, I do like to share a fun fact about our origin. So the first Special Olympics International Games were actually held at Soldier Field in Chicago. So we're really proud of that fact and being a part of history. So the organization is now over 50 years old, and we have more than 6 million athletes throughout the world. So we really are a huge global movement. And today we're representing Special Olympics Illinois, but we have colleagues all over the place. This is a new chart that just came out, and we're really, really proud of this. So Special Olympics Inc. did a pretty intense survey. They were part of this, and Special Olympics was actually identified as the number 5 most trusted nonprofit brands. You can see some of the other big names. So we're really proud of that. And wherever you are able to partner with Special Olympics as a volunteer, as a sponsor, etc., just know that you really are a part of a really incredible movement. And we're really proud to be on this list and hope to continue to rise to that number 1 spot. So a little bit more about our structure. In Illinois, we're comprised of what we call agencies, and that's essentially a school. It could be a park district. It could be a group home facility, Chicago public schools. So these are the different groups where our athletes will train in their local communities, and that's where they first start their competitions, is in our 11 different regions. So we take the state of Illinois, and we have A, B, C, D, etc. Chicago is region D. And those are where our athletes will first compete. So they'll compete at the regional level, and then if they get a gold medal, they will advance to our state level games. So for Special Olympics Illinois, those games are often held near Illinois State University, so in Bloomington Normal, but we do have competitions throughout the state. And then, like I mentioned, since we are part of the global movement, we make up with all the different state programs, Canada, Mexico, et cetera, were part of Special Olympics North America. So our athletes have the opportunity to compete at Special Olympics USA Games. The next USA Games will be held in 2026 in Minnesota, and we'll be sending around 50-ish athletes to compete from Illinois. And then our athletes even have the opportunity to compete on the world stage and be a part of the World Games. So next year is one of our World Games events in Turin, Italy. And we do have 4 athletes who will be representing Special Olympics Illinois in skiing and snowshoe. So there really are just amazing opportunities for our athletes, both locally as well as globally. So if you're, in a different state right now, your organization for Special Olympics has the same structure, and we're all a part of this global movement. At our core, we are a sports organization, but these are our 3 main pillars. So sports, health, and leadership. So to break that down a little bit, I just wanted to talk through really what that means. So sports is, our bread and butter. We're providing 18 different Olympic type sports in Illinois. And I do like to call out a few because I think, sometimes people think of the traditional sports like basketball, track, soccer, volleyball, but we also have some really unique sports like bocce ball. We have snowshoe that I mentioned for the World Games, skiing, some other really incredible sports, gymnastics, name a sport, and there's a good chance equestrian that we do that. So we have over 300 competitions specifically in Illinois. Unified Sports is a really unique piece of our mission, and it's something that's continuing to grow that we're super proud of. So what this is Unified Sports is an opportunity for people with and without intellectual disabilities to train and compete on the same sports teams. So we offer what we call Unified Sports in a few different sports such as bowling, basketball, etc. So this is really a growing part of our movement, and we do partner with schools to really enhance the unified movement. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we have over 400 schools in Illinois that we partner with, and there's schools throughout the country that are involved in Unified Champion Schools. So it essentially is comprised of 3 elements, one being that inclusive sports, so having students with and without disabilities competing on the same sports teams, but it's also an amazing opportunity to develop youth leaders and really the future of people advocating for individuals with intellectual disabilities. So they have different committees, different initiatives that they do at their schools. They'll even host what we call whole school engagement initiatives. So maybe it's hosting one of our events, having an assembly, and just making sure the entire student body is really rallying behind the students in their school with disabilities and really creating that inclusive culture. And these programs really are just so incredible. They tackle things such as bullying, and they not only help the students with disabilities, but they really improve the entire culture at the school. We have a few schools in Illinois that have been recently recognized for being exceptional in this space, and ESPN is involved. So it's a really unique program. And if you're in a different state, I encourage you to check out and see which schools in your communities, maybe if you have children, maybe you can help to be a champion to start a program at your school as well. Just a few other quick initiatives I'll share, related to the sports world. We are getting more into esports, so offering more opportunities. Maybe there's athletes who don't want to participate in traditional sports like soccer, but they love esports and different games. That's a growing initiative for us. It's a very unique piece that we partner with Microsoft on. We also have our Young Athletes program. So before you're ready to compete in traditional Special Olympics at age 8, this is a program that once again brings together children with and without disabilities. And it's a unique play program where they go through different skills, but it's starting them in, an inclusive environment early on. So our Young Athletes program is pretty amazing. It's a ton of fun if you ever get a chance to volunteer at one of those events. MATP is the acronym for our Motor Activities Training Program. And this is one that might be for individuals who have more severe disabilities. So they might not be able to participate in one of our 18 sports. So this still gives them the opportunity to be involved with a competition and to have maybe more of that one-on-one engagement. So it's a really unique opportunity as well. So health. I did want to emphasize this pillar just because of the nature of your business. So we are really valuing our health programs and really trying to elevate the well-being of people with disabilities. Oftentimes, people with ID aren't given access to care, or they have conditions that go undiagnosed for years. Unfortunately, there's a statistic that people with ID live 16 years less than the general population. So we're trying to address that. And we're doing that by offering free health screenings, by educating clinicians, and really educating our athletes on healthy habits, food choices, and different entities surrounding the health environment. So we offer a few different focus areas for our athletes. You can see this list. I won't go through everything, but this is such a cool part of our mission that a lot of people don't realize. So Special Olympics globally is the largest public health organization in the world serving people with ID, which is absolutely incredible. And what that means is that we're offering these different disciplines. So, for example, we've been able to give athletes hearing aids. Maybe they went for years undiagnosed with a hearing condition, and we're able to step in and help them with that, or give them glasses, dental screenings, which I'm sure you know is directly linked to your cardiac health. So this is such a vital part of making sure our athletes have long and healthy lives. And all of these programs are run through volunteers. So we work with different hospitals, clinicians, medical students to put on these events. In Chicago, we are hosting what we call MedFest this fall at the United Center. We'll be doing a huge event where athletes from Chicago can come in and receive a sports physical, which is currently a requirement to participate in our program. So really, really unique part of who we are. In Illinois, we're also developing more food guidelines for our events so that, our athletes are able to make better choices when it comes to, what's fueling their bodies for sport and competition. So athlete leadership is one of my favorite programs, and I don't have two screens, so I can't see Daniel's face, but Daniel is a big part. I'm sure you're smiling. He's a big part of this program. And we actually have our Leadership Academy coming up next weekend where our athletes will get more training. So what this program does is it gives our athletes meaningful leadership roles. So that can include educating athletes on public speaking, professionalism, how to be in a meeting. And these athletes go through this intense training and they can take on different roles. So they can become a representative, they can be a spokesperson like Daniel's doing today, they can give speeches to corporations, they can serve on our various committees. So we have 140 different athlete leaders throughout the state, and that program is continuing to grow. And that's in every state program has athlete leadership. And really, as we become more and more of an inclusive and unified organization, we will be driving more leadership opportunities for our athletes. So now, before we kick things over to Daniel, I wanted to share a quick video. So just bear with me while I click on this link. I might have to stop sharing and reshare. Give me 1 second. Include some. Okay.
Today, here in Chicago, I got to meet our 4 Special Olympics ambassadors in person. Wonderful people who are doing great things to take care of our customers, even during the coronavirus pandemic.
The Inclusion Revolution is a campaign that Special Olympics started, and it's really about showcasing our abilities and what we're able to do.
It's not just working here, you're also learning here.
For me, getting better is working with other people, meeting different guests, and helping with my own social skill, how to talk to strangers.
Communication is my biggest struggle, but it's also my biggest passion. And that confidence that I've gained from working here at United, it's given me a lot of courage.
We talk at United a lot about making connections. And they've really made connections, not only with their customers, but their teammates. Not only can we help them grow as individuals, but they can help us grow also.
I feel like I have positive experiences every single day.
You have your regular family at home, and then you got your United family.
Okay, so now I am really thrilled to introduce Daniel. I do have an intro slide for him here. All right, well, Daniel Smrokowski, these are just a few of his titles, and Daniel will share more about himself in just a second here, but he is not only a Special Olympics Illinois certified athlete leader, meaning he's gone through training, he's also a certified health messenger and one of the original Special Olympics service ambassadors at United Airlines. So that's the video you just saw, which Daniel will share more about. And Daniel was a former Sergeant Shriver Global Messenger. So I am really excited to turn things over to Daniel so he can share more about his journey. So take it away, Daniel.
Thank you, Amanda, and I'm honored to be speaking with you all today. And today, Tuesday, I am actually currently on the job sitting at Ohio International Airport in one of United Airlines terminals. So if you are familiar with flying on United out of Chicago, I'm currently in Terminal 1 on the B concourse, actually up above in where some of the officers are. This week, October 28th, so just yesterday, marked my 5-year, and all 4 of us who you saw in the video, our 5-year work anniversary at United Airlines. It's been 5 years and growing of a groundbreaking, innovative, and inclusive employment program. The minute I joined Special Olympics more than 20 years ago, I had a lot more hair back then. My life was different. Nobody made fun of me anymore. I had a whole new group of friends. I had new goals to strive for. Before Special Olympics, I would come home from school in tears because my schoolmates didn't understand my challenges. I didn't fit into school sports because I didn't think I could do sports. I did some music, but I was mostly alone by myself, not part of a team. Special Olympics provided team involvement and really a second family. After 4 years of doing sports, which I started in swimming, and now currently today I participate in basketball, which I will be when I get home from work. About a half hour after I get home from work, I will be going to my basketball practice. And then I also, just a couple months ago, I started competing in bocce. And after only competing in bocce for only 2 months at our Regency competition, I got a silver and a gold medal in bocce. So I'll be hopefully, if you guys are in Illinois, you can come down to our 2025 state summer games that Amanda had mentioned, in particularly to the bocce, because this is the first year that I will be playing bocce. But yeah, so after 4 years of doing sports, I got involved in athlete leadership. And so I've been an athlete for more than 20 years, but in our athlete leadership program for more than 15 years. And I discovered that athlete leadership is also all about teamwork and community. It felt so good to see my skills grow not only in sports, not only on the sports field or the basketball court, but also my skills off the field in athlete leadership. I'm 35 years old. I have 2 jobs. I have my own weekly podcast and podcasting platform called Special Chronicles. Special Chronicles .com. I'm sure we can include links in the chat. And my other job is working for United Airlines based at Chicago O'Hare International Airport, where I'm employed for the past 5 years as a service ambassador. 5 years and hopefully growing as well. I would not have had this job of service ambassador at United Airlines or the skills without Special Olympics. It is because of our athlete leadership program and sports screening that I first gained confidence and the skills needed to be successful in this job. Special Olympics and athlete leadership has helped me to be more comfortable. This is the impact of the athlete leadership has had on my life. In both of my jobs, the most important thing is communication with people. Communication has been my biggest struggle, but it's also my biggest passion. In both of my jobs, I need to really listen to other people's stories. In sports, I've learned to listen to both coaches and my teammates. Athlete leadership is not just about public speaking. It is also listening, creating, planning, organizing with athletes, staff, community members, and corporate partners like yourselves. I really love these opportunities to listen to people and work with them. So you may be wondering, what is a Special Olympics Service Ambassador or a SOSA? SOSAs, service ambassadors, are United Airlines employees who support with welcoming United customers in the airport lobby, just on the other, underneath where I'm sitting currently, helping them find check-in kiosks, where to drop bags, how to find the TSA pre-check line, and also assisting like where I am today, which just an hour ago, before I got on this call with you today, I was assisting at the gates and assisting with agent on demand assistance, wayfinding of connection gates, where baggage claim is located. I mean, I was like just an hour ago, I was doing that, and I do that 4 days a week. We are part-time employees with full-time benefits. So it really is for a lot of us with intellectual and developmental disabilities. This job really is groundbreaking. It is not something that back when I was growing up in school, it wasn't something that we were told. And even now, there's not a lot of companies that have this type of opportunity for us. What we really do, and so what I told you was part of our job description, but what I really do is I help people. I'm kind to people. I ease people's stress. I care. It's easy for me. Currently, United Airlines has 18 SOSAs, 18 service ambassadors located in Chicago. So I'm one of 4 based in Chicago. We have 4 in Denver. One of them in Denver is also a former Southern Tribal Global Messenger. And I actually told one of our managers here who told the team out in Denver. So that's pretty exciting. And then we have 6 service ambassadors in Houston and 4 in Washington, D.C. at Washington Dulles Airport. And United is expanding to LAX probably by the end of this year. And then in 2025, probably Newark and San Francisco will be next. So they're really trying to expand. But yeah, only we have 18 service ambassadors. We have had a lot of executive leadership at United Airlines that really talk about the impact. And one of those, as you saw in the video, that video is a little dated. It was filmed during the COVID-19 pandemic. So, but one of those is Scott Colby, CEO of United Airlines, who recently for National Disability Employment Awareness Month, he posted on his Instagram and LinkedIn, I believe. Scott Colby said, who's the CEO of United Airlines, says, service ambassadors are United employees who help customers find their way at 4 of our hubs, soon to be 6. What I really love about these ambassadors is the genuine excitement and enthusiasm. They're just a joy to be around. The whole world would learn from their positive outlook on life. So that's just a comment from our CEO, who really is since day one has always been supportive of us. My favorite part of being a SOSA is showing the kindness and love to all people, even when they aren't that kind back at times. I often say those of us Special Olympics athletes show love to people who show us hate. We show love to people who show us hate. Another favorite part is every day wearing my United Special Olympics corporate-branded uniform, which you see me wearing today because, like I said at the beginning, I am on the job currently. My other favorite part is not just a token disabled employee, being a highly valued, contributing leader and equal employee. Recently, a couple weeks ago, we had our 5-year milestone luncheon with our Vice President of Human Resources and our Chief Customer Officer and other executive leaders at the headquarters at Willis Tower in downtown Chicago. And afterwards, I reflected on that experience. And this job has been truly life-changing for not just myself, but truly has been groundbreaking in showing what is possible for those of us with intellectual disabilities. One of the best parts of the social program is that it's always evolving to be better and better. As a leader on and off the field, I hope my work will inspire other departments within United Airlines, both airport operations and at headquarters, to take inclusion to even further heights. I hope that the SOSA program will inspire other companies to create inclusive employment positions for the 6 million of Special Olympics athletes around the world. I would like to say thank you to United Airlines. I know that my coworkers are not on the call, but they all down the hall and around here. But I would like to say thank you to United Airlines for 5 years and counting of supporting opportunities for Special Olympics athletes to lead on the field and in the workforce. And I'm going to leave you with a good, inclusive story that now an example of a stellar unified leader. My friend Captain Joe Mills, Washington, D.C. chief pilot with United Airlines, has worked with me on joint projects, but has also befriended me. Personally, for me, Captain Joe makes me feel included by listening to me. Joe sees me for my abilities and skills beyond the sports field. From being a guest on my podcast, to asking me to moderate town hall events with her. She makes me feel included. One of the events that Joe asked me to host is a question and answer session with a leading autism advocate and Professor Temple Grandin. Joe even talks to me on the phone, and now we talk pretty much every week on weekly calls to make sure I'm comfortable with my job. Similar to Ingredion's employee resource group called Empowered, I have experience serving on employee-based organization at United Airlines, which you can probably see the team's background behind me. Outside of both of our regular day jobs at United, we both serve in a group called Bridge, which is one of United's diversity, equity, and inclusion groups. A group primarily serves as allies of the disability community. We speak together at internal workshops about inclusion employment at United. We work together on what to say and make sure everything we do has input from me or another one of our staff with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Including last year, we championed being one of the first airlines to put Braille on all of the aircrafts, which has not been done before. And then a lot of the airports now in the U.S. are championing the sunflower lanyards, and that is something that we're currently working to try to educate more employees about. And finally, for those of you without intellectual disabilities on the call today, I hope that you will listen to our stories, like you have just listened to my story today. Learn from other people's mistakes when it comes to meaningfully including those of us with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Don't take things personally when we say we've been used as tokens. Give us the proper training, and then let us have the same opportunities others have had their whole lives. We will surprise you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. That was fantastic. We just have a few more slides and then we'll leave some time for questions. So let me go ahead and reshare. One second here. Okay, sorry, I might have to skip a few slides. I'm not sure how to. There we go. All right, so just wanted to kind of recap the why behind our organization. So you can see on the screen, but really our whole aim is that through sport, we're going to improve the physical and social and emotional well-being of our athletes. And by engaging with people without intellectual disabilities, we're really generating more opportunities for people to come together and show them really how amazing our athletes are. Just like Daniel was saying, they are just some of the most incredible employees, and just showing people who don't have experience with people with ID just what they're capable of. We're really going to start to shape and change our communities. So you can see kind of the ways that we are creating that sustainable change is first and foremost is inclusion. And that's where corporations like Ingredion can really come in to help us, whether it's building out inclusive employment opportunities, volunteering at our events, being those advocates for people with ID. And also we're really focused on empowering the full potential of our athletes. We know what they're capable of, and giving them the chance to really show the world their skills, their power, their incredible attitudes. Like Daniel was saying, that really hit me, just how you show love to people who are showing hate sometimes. And there's not a day goes by where I'm not with a Special Olympics Illinois athlete where my day isn't completely transformed by just their positivity and incredible outlook on life. We're ultimately building these communities. So we're, building those mindsets of inclusion and making our communities more connected. And then finally, we do work at the policy level to really influence system level changes. And just as we go forward as an organization, these are some of our 4 pillars that will drive our future plans. So our first goal is to serve more individuals with intellectual disabilities, to reach more and more of our athletes, to grow our engagement with our teams and our schools and our park districts. We're also looking to build our movement. So again, that's where people on the call can really step up, whether you want to become a volunteer, a coach, a donor. We are really looking for individuals to invest in our movement. Ultimately, we want to change the game. So up the quality of our events, our services, continue to innovate with the times. And then finally, just like your empowered group, we are really investing in DEI initiatives and making sure that DEI is embedded into everything that we do at Special Olympics. So how can you get involved? And that's kind of what we want to close out with. As I said at the beginning, volunteers are the backbone of Special Olympics, no matter where you are. We always need help with volunteers to come to our events. You don't have to have any experience in the sport. You'll be trained on site. We have so many different events where you could come out, whether it's as a team builder, as an empowered group, or as an individual, or as with your family. We constantly need volunteers to drive our mission. If you are really passionate about a sport or want to take on a very meaningful role, we're always looking for coaches and referees. If you have a medical background, like there's something for everyone. So if you're interested in getting involved, please reach out and we'd love to help make that happen. There's also different professional opportunities. This is specific to Illinois, but if you are in a different state, there are similar groups, but we have a young professionals board in Chicago in the suburbs. We also have a group that's more geared towards mid to senior career professionals. And then ultimately we have a board of directors. So we're always looking for new individuals who are really champions of our mission to be a part of those groups. And then so many ways that you can donate, sponsor, volunteer. Was really thrilled to have members of Ingredion at our Champions Ball this past Saturday. But we have different fundraisers and team building initiatives, whether it's polar plunges, which is everywhere in the country. We have our Chicago Ducky Derby, which is a really huge event. So there's really endless opportunities to get involved. If you just reach out and check our calendar, we'd love to help make those connections. But that's really all that we had for you today. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I think, Katie, if we wanted to open it up for some questions.
Sure. Does anybody have a question? Yes, Sam put in the chat. We are planning to do the polar plunge. So if anyone in the Illinois area is interested, and like Amanda said, they do this across the country as well. So reach out to your local Special Olympics of Illinois. And if you need help, you can feel free to contact me and I can get a connection going for you too. So does anyone have any questions? Oh, I see Jen in the chat asked if there's any way to volunteer remotely.
That's an interesting question. I'm sure we could find something. It would really just depend on kind of what you're interested in and kind of what your skill set is, but I'm sure we could do that.
Awesome. We'll follow up on that.
I think I see a hand raise.
Yes, I did want to comment that I was able to participate in the spring games, and I would just, recommend to anybody what an amazing experience it was. Completely well-run operation. I met so many great athletes and families. My son and I did it together, and we just had a really, really great day. I'm looking forward to doing another one. My son is 14, so we're looking at doing something in our area. I'm in New Jersey, by the way. So there was something in November that we were looking at our schedules for, and I would just recommend anyone to take the time and do it. It was really amazing, and you guys are a fantastic organization.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, Daniel, there's one for you in the chat.
Oh.
So you mentioned the sunflower lanyard. What does it mean?
Oh, so this I've got one in my other my bag that's in the other room, but it's so it helps anyone with invisible disabilities. It lets airport employees, airline employees know what assistance that you need. A few of my friends who are athletes in other countries, like in the
UK and New Zealand. It's been really popular. I believe it started in the UK, but it's been pretty popular in other countries, and now it's coming to airports in the US. But it's a green sunflower lanyard. There's a white one for if you are a supporter of somebody with an invisible disability. But yeah, the green sunflower lanyard, and then what's attached to it is there's a card that says what assistance that you need, and so I don't. I'm sure if you Google sunflower lanyard, you can learn more about it. Because there's an official organization but yeah, that's basically what it is. Is that the only question?
No, there's a part two. So what has been the best part about working at United?
The best part would be making, and funny because our vice president of human resources and our chief customer officer had just asked us this question a couple weeks ago at our milestone luncheon, and so my best part would be making connections with my coworkers and the passengers, and showing love to everybody, because so many of my coworkers have said that not only me but all of us associates have always come to work with a smile, that we're not in a bad mood. And so yeah, so Woody making connections and showing love and caring and kindness to our coworkers and passengers.
Daniel, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How do you handle it when a customer is upset? Like, how do you approach that?
Good question. So a lot, and either that and even sometimes some coworkers could be upset too. But yeah, especially the past, because especially a lot of times the flight is delayed or canceled, or there's a lot of times when we do experience that, and a lot of that I think back to the strong minds discipline that we have in Special Olympics. That's a part of our healthy athletes. A lot of those strong minds or mental health tools that we have. I don't always carry a stress ball with me, but I just think back to some of those breathing techniques, or just I just try to kind of let those things kind of go away, because everybody is traveling for a different reason, and somebody might not be having a good day. So I just know that I just follow that in mind.
That's great.
I have a question, Daniel. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
So I know you said you started in swim when you were younger and you played basketball and now bocce ball. So well, first of all, what's your favorite sport to play? And then also, what are some of the values that you've learned from sports and athletics that have made you successful in your career?
Good question. So the first, you're asking what my favorite sport is.
Yes.
That's a difficult question, because
Yeah.
I'm sure if there are parents and I mean, I don't have any kids, but if you ask who your favorite kid is, it's kind of the same type of question. So but I would have to say, I mean, bocce is still pretty new. I've only been playing for
a few, like since July of this year. So I've only been playing for a few months. So I mean, bocce is a new favorite, but probably basketball because even now, like my coach is going to make us is going to make us run and walk laps around the gym before we practice and game. But basketball because there's a lot of movement and it's fun with my teammates. And a couple years ago, I made so my coach said before you can make a 3-point shot, you have to pass the ball 3 times and yeah. Oh, and I think and then also kind of make a couple of regular shots. But 2 years ago, I had made my first 3-point shot, and so yeah. So basketball would right now would I mean bocce's a new thing, but probably basketball. And then your other question about.
Yeah, so my other question was what values or things that you've learned from your career in sports, playing sports, being in Special Olympics, have you taken away and made you successful in your career at United and as a leader at Special Olympics?
So another great question. So a lot of what I learned about the power and the impact of teamwork, of listening to my coaches, or which relates to listening to my supervisors and like hopefully like so like coaches are kind of like your supervisors or your managers, and so really listening and teamwork and showing caring and loving to people that you play with and that you work with, and even if like for example, just earlier this year in the basketball game, there was a teammate who got upset and was swearing and like just even knowing like how to interact in those situations. But I think a lot of the teamwork values and listening and caring and loving values of that I've taken from being part of teams and being involved in Special Olympics help me every day, and so like that's why it goes like not only is my uniform co-branded, but it really does like not every job is going to be co-branded, but like that's especially why it goes hand in hand. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yes, for sure. Thank you. That was a great answer. Does anybody else have any questions? We have about 10 minutes left, so time for maybe 2 to 3 more questions. Thank you, Daniel, for sharing that.
Yeah, somewhere on there
Thank you.
is I think there's a spot to find your local program.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and each program will be like Special Olympics Michigan, Special Olympics Ohio, etc. So if you guys run into any issues, please reach out. And Katie, feel free to share or I can put it in the chat, my email address, and would love for you to get involved no matter where you live.
Yeah, I've over the past 20 years, I've made so many friends with other athletes and other athlete leaders across the U.S. and even across the globe. And Latin America, in the UK, in New Zealand, Australia, the Philippines, Kuwait, Africa, including one of the service ambassadors down in our Houston hub had sent me a message on Teams because I started a group message for all of our service ambassadors, and they said that they ran into another Special Olympics athlete who's from New York or New Jersey, but he was down in Houston, and he said he told this other service ambassador that he knew me. So yeah, it's fun. Just like United is a second family, Special Olympics is a second family because I've been able to make friends with athletes across the U.S. and across the globe as well.
And I do have one last quick question for Daniel. Can you give us any insight, or when is the next podcast episode coming out?
Every Monday is when new episodes come out every Monday, and I can give you a little bit of a sneak peek of next. So the one that was yesterday is our 5-year anniversary. That link is in the chat. But next Monday, whatever Monday's date is, November 3rd or
4th,
2nd
yeah.
or 4th, yeah, 4th. There was I usually only listen to like clean comedians, but there's a comedian and podcaster whose name is Dustin Nicholson, who my girlfriend and we saw him at the Zanies Comedy Club, and so Dustin Nicholson it's already taped, but that episode will be coming out this coming Monday, talking about inclusive comedy, and so yeah,
cool.
so you can look forward to that about inclusive comedy, and then there's every Monday, but yeah, I don't know if we shared a link, but in the chat, but yeah, specialchronicles.com, and those links to follow on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, all those places. But yeah, you can look forward to that. That was a fun episode, not only because he's a comedian, but also just inclusive comedy, and yeah, it's definitely one that you can listen to, and then hopefully go out and see him on tour.
Daniel, it sounds like Harold might be volunteering to be on your podcast soon. That's what I was getting.
Oh yeah. There's a on specialchronicles.com. There's a contact page, and you can fill out the contact form.
Okay. Yeah, add me to the wait list.
Well, thank you all. This is such an amazing opportunity to be able to speak to a group during National Disability Employment Awareness Month. And, we don't run like employment programs at Special Olympics, but we're here to empower athletes and make connections. And so if that's something that Ingredion is really investing in, we're here to support that in any way that we can, but really inspired by your work and how much you are valuing colleagues who might have disabilities, whether that's visible or invisible. And Daniel, thank you so much for being here and for being such an amazing example of how incredible our Special Olympics athletes are. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Ingredion, for having us speak and for supporting and hopefully continuing to support the Special Olympics for many years.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all for the time.
Yes. Have a nice rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you. You all too.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Awesome. Thank you.
Support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. As an independent public media podcast, Special Chronicles will always be there for you. Now we're asking you to be there for us. As a nonprofit independent media organization, we can only make programs like Special Chronicles with listener support. Our programs provide weekly, candid, honest, and inspiring conversations about the people with disabilities community that creates awareness, support, and advocacy within each week's episode. Listeners tell us our shows are an enjoyable and necessary podcast for the intellectual and developmental disability community and everyone else who is able to listen to stories about life from a different angle. Please, if you and your family love our weekly podcasts, make a one-time, monthly, or annual gift of thanks today. Support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. Support for Special Chronicles comes from ComEd. Special Chronicles is proud to partner with the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives, and Wary is powering us here at Special Chronicles to keep the lights on and our technology is powered on. As ComEd powers the lives of us, they are literally giving a voice to people with special needs. We thank ComEd for the generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd. Support for Special Chronicles comes from United Airlines Bridge Disability Business Resource Group. Special Chronicles is proud to partner with United Airlines and the Bridge BLG. Bridge BLG is committed to being an ally for all employees and customers with disabilities. Bridge helps to create internal awareness to keep accessibility needs in mind and partner with key organizations to empower disability inclusion for employment and travel. Bridge, connecting people of all abilities. Book your travel today on United.com or on the award-winning United app. Learn more on United's commitment to disability inclusion for employment and travel at specialchronicles.com/United. That's specialchronicles.com/United. And hope you all have enjoyed that presentation that Amanda Spies from Special Olympics Illinois and I gave. Hopefully you enjoyed hearing a little bit about my journey coming to United Airlines as a service ambassador. So I'll try to put links to in the show notes if you want to get involved in your local Special Olympics program. That's specialolympics.org to find your local program. If you are in Illinois, that's soil.org. But if you are if you're tuning in another state, another country, and you want to find your local program, specialolympics.org. And hopefully you guys all enjoyed hearing that presentation. And with that, I had the spent so much at the end of the episode, but we do have our Special Chronicles 2025 giving campaign going on right now, and you'll hear on this in the beginning of January 2025, but our giving campaign is going on until the end of January. So if you would like to support us, we can continue to bring you presentations like this and conversations and interviews with those of us with disabilities, those Special Olympics athletes. You can go to specialchronicles.com/donate and make a donation so we can continue to operate our studio, keep the lights on, keep this microphone plugged in, and continue our mission, give respect and voice to those of us with disabilities. We've got a merchandise store. 60% of the profits go back to Special Chronicles. It's our Disabled Voices Matter collection, t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, specialchronicles.com/shop. If you want to access bonus content, we've got some bonus content of where we break down that fourth wall of the studio, and you can kind of join in and see us get ready to record on most of our episodes with our guests. Specialchronicles.com/plus. You can either $10 a month and up, you can join and access our bonus content. Go ahead and tap that follow button, and so you never miss a new episode. We got new episodes pretty much every week, and you can listen and subscribe to our newsletter on specialchronicles.com, Apple Podcast, Spotify, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, all of that, as well as follow us on Instagram, Facebook, all those places. You can find all those links on specialchronicles.com. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll be back next week with another episode of the Special Chronicles podcast here on specialchronicles.com. Until then, have a great week, and talk to you on the next episode of the Special Chronicles podcast at specialchronicles.com. Take care. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Special Chronicles podcast. Our podcast was produced by Daniel Smrokowski on the Special Chronicles Network. Follow Special Chronicles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Subscribe, rate, and review Special Chronicles on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Our website, specialchronicles.com, where you can stream our archives of over 500 episodes absolutely for free. Also, there's a list of our favorites, original series, award-winning columns, and blogs. And sign up for our newsletter to receive exclusive bonus content delivered to your inbox. Again, specialchronicles.com. Special Chronicles is hosted by Podbean Podcast Hosting. Our live streams are powered by StreamYard. Thanks, as always, to our business manager, Adam Smrokowski, who always encourages us to never give up. I'm Daniel Smrokowski, back next week with more stories.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.